So, Miss Bobbie, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Doing very good.
So, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you originally from? Baltimore?
I'm from this side of Baltimore, which is the east side. I used to live on a street called Wilcox Street. It's above here. You go up to Preston. You go up to Preston, you make a left and go down to Wilcox, which is a very small street between Inzer and Valley. And on that corner of that street is a church called Mount Sinai Baptist Church, where my whole family grew up in.
Do you still have any family around, or?
Oh yes,
yeah.
I have a sister in Randallstown, a sister in South Carolina, and a younger sister up in northeast Baltimore.
What's your relationship with them like? Is it still good, or?
With the oldest one is very good, and the one that's directly behind me, who's in South Carolina, that's good. But the other sister, she's so all about everything, but she's not doing so well now because she's got like certain injuries and stuff. So.
Sure.
But anyway, she's younger, but she still lives here in Baltimore, northeast Baltimore. Yeah. But I lost two in 2016 in 1 year.
You lost two sisters?
My oldest sister died in May of that year with liver cancer. My baby sister, who was the actual baby sister, she died at my sister's house. She fell and hit her head and died.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's okay. But things happen. But I'm good. I can say for myself, I am a motivational speaker, a salvation counselor, and a certified grief counselor.
A certified what?
Grief counselor.
Grief counselor?
You know what a grief counselor
is?
Okay,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So people from Marsh Funeral Home came to our church and asked that men step up and become grief counselors, and I did. It was kind of a weird kind of thing. I'm going to say weird because you have to get really personal about what happened to you over the years, things that you never told anybody or that you kept to yourself, and you have to relate those kind of things to the people in the grief counseling so they can know how to direct you, how to go about handling that sort of grief. Because men do grief differently from women, and women do grief differently from men. Women can relate to each other, where men would go to alcohol, weightlifting, and all that kind of stuff to deal with their grief, as opposed to actually dealing with it. So you learn all those kinds of things.
Is that hard trying to draw that trauma out of people?
Well, it's for some.
Yeah.
For some people, especially if they've kept a secret for a very long time and never told anybody. You know what I'm saying? That can be kind of difficult. And then when it comes out, it may be heartwarming or something because they finally...
Like a relief.
Yeah, like a relief. Like they probably you probably get out and all that kind of stuff. But it's a learning process, and once you start it, and then the ball starts rolling, it becomes easier as you go along. Yeah.
Sure. Are you out on the streets right now?
Oh no, I have an apartment that I've been living in this year will be 21 years.
Okay.
It's up the street here near the Old Town Mall. They redid the inside, so we have cameras everywhere. Cameras in the hallways, cameras on the elevator, and the security desk. They have all the pictures of the different floors and people coming in and out to make sure that everybody's safe. And you have to have a key card to get to your floor. So it's pretty safe. I've been there 21 years. It used to be the Housing Authority, but a personal management company bought it. It's called Resident One. And they have a partnership with the housing, but they have more ownership to the building than the housing does. It's a kind of dual kind of relationship. I don't know what the housing department is on their part. It has to do with it. I don't have any idea, but that's what they said. So, yeah.
Yeah. Where do you typically find people to counsel for grief?
Anywhere. If I get to that point, usually I don't talk about that. I don't even let certain people know that about me. I just talk about things that they would like to talk about. So then when you deal with somebody in the kind of way, you have to open up the situation so they'll be able to open up and say whatever it is they want to say. And once they say what they want to say, then you can answer in a particular way so that it encourages them to want to keep talking. You understand? So it goes back and forth.
Yeah.
But it depends on how you approach the situation. Like I just say, most of the time I would say, hey, how you doing? Or what's up? Or good morning. Because a lot of times, if you just say that to people, it does something to them. Because normally people don't even talk to them. They think they're crazy, and they don't want to talk to them because they're scared of them. You know, so, like the Bible says, you fear no man. You know, and put your trust in no man. Because man will always let you down. And that's a possibility that has constantly been happening forever and ever and ever. But you still go on with your life if you plan to do anything about situations, or if you plan to maybe make things better as an individual.
Do you feel it troublesome to talk about your own grief?
Oh, no. No, not at all. Well, you know, because I've been that kind of person. I just talk anyway. I like talking. So talking about grief or talking about happiness, about good times, bad times, it's no problem for me because I'm able to have gone through it, have done it, and able to talk
Came out
about
on the other end.
and been able to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is a good thing for me.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's almost like they were talking about forgiveness. It's not necessarily forgiveness for me. It's about gratefulness and grace. And I won't say blessing, but grace and mercy. You know what I'm saying? God have mercy on people, and sometimes you as an individual have to do the same. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, some people are weak, some people are poor, some people are hungry, some people are thirsty. You know what I'm saying? But you have to, like what Christ did, meet them where they are. You know, you have to get down in their nitty-gritty, if that's where they are, and find them and to be able to talk to them, or even maybe comfort them. You know what I'm saying? If they need comforting. A lot of times people need comforting. They need to know that somebody is able to maybe talk to them, maybe hand them something, give them something to eat, or if you have a little bit of money, maybe give them some money, or anything that will help them feel like they're a human being.
They need to be relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And know that they have worth and value.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you sometimes, like I say, just a hello. You know, that's just to start the conversation. You know what I'm saying? And then they'll start talking to you.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Or they'll start talking to me. I mean, because, I mean, they see me all the time, and all I'm just saying is hello. You know, sometimes that may just wonders to people. I don't know, really, but, you know, if you open the floodgates to allow people to come in and do whatever it is and say whatever they want to say, and that's all part of their growth and your growth, as far as I'm concerned.
And depending on the day or person, sometimes that's all it takes.
I'm sure that's all. You know, if it doesn't cost you anything to say hello, or to say what's up, or how you doing. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then by saying something, you don't know what that does to a person. Like I was telling about the guy, Mr. Black. I was telling the young lady, them guys that come around in the summertime and they Mr. Black. He was always talking to himself, walking around crazy and all that kind of people think he's crazy. Then one time there was a man out here giving out bags of socks and soap and all that kind of stuff. I said, Mr. Black, come over here and get some stuff. And once he got over, he started talking to both of us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't say anything. I mean, I didn't, you know, I was amazed in my own thinking that he was able to come over and do all that kind of stuff and enjoying in and what it is that was going on. And it's good. I see him on occasion now. He'll say hi. You know what I'm saying? He knows who I am. I mean, we don't have a kind of relationship or anything like that. It's just he knows who I am, what I do, and maybe the reason why I do what I do. You know what I'm saying? My pastor would always say, you just plant the seed and you let it go. That's
What's your
all
outlook on life? Like, what do you feel like the biggest problem in the world is?
Politics,
Yeah.
government. But I'm telling you, this place here, you see that clock up there? That clock has stopped when Mayor Pugh left that office. That's when that clock stopped, and it has not worked since. By it not being an issue, it's never been fixed. So there's an old saying, if it's broke on the inside, or if it's broke on the outside, it's broke on the inside. Okay? And that holds true with a lot of things in government, in politics, in the school system, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if it's broke on the outside, it's definitely broke on the inside. And no one's doing anything about fixing the problem.
What do you think? Obviously you got a ton of corruption. You got,
Oh, yeah.
you go back to like the gun trace task force. It just kind of seems like it infiltrates all levels of government at some point. What do you think the answer is? Or you think?
I have no answer. See, I'm just a small pea in a big pot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's too many other things above my grade level for me to be able to do anything about any kind of situation or even think through a situation, because that's more than I know happening that I'm able to understand. You know what I'm saying? So all that other stuff I have no knowledge of to make some kind of conclusion as to what I would think what the solution is.
Sure.
Because I don't have all the answers. I don't even have all the questions. I just know the little bit that I hear and see. I can't do much anything about it. See, I'm not a martyr. I'm not the kind of person who's going to try to stand up and try to change the world or anything like that. I do things on a small individual level with individual people. You know what I'm saying? I can't deal with all those big issues because they're much bigger than me. And I don't have the money or the power or the connection. I don't have any really connections. So there's nothing much I can do or say that will make or convince people to make things change. You know what I'm saying? It's just not in my grasp.
Sure. No, I get it. I get it.
So I do things on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
With individual people and stuff, as best as I can for who I am and what I am and what I'm all about. You know what I'm saying? And all it is, I'm just about love, grace, mercy, and joy and happiness. You know what I'm saying? Because, people want to be happy. They sometimes don't know how to be happy because they've never been happy. But like I said, just to say hi or, you want to have a conversation or anything, that opens up floodgates of people who have never talked to anybody. There was a young man down here one summer who I went to school with. I saw him digging in a trash can with a shirt and tie on and a baseball hat on, and I recognized him. And I went up and I said, "Do you know who I am?" So I told him my name, and he had to think about it for a minute. And I was telling him I was the president of the senior class and this, that, and the other. And then he remembered. And there wasn't much I could do for him being on the street. No, I don't know why I didn't get into his business, because that's something I don't really do. If somebody want to volunteer something to me, that's fine. You can volunteer, but I don't pry in people's lives, because that's not who I am or what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? If you want to say something to me about this situation, then fine. But I'm here to see if there's anything I could probably help you with or help you do while I'm here, if I can.
That's a good mentality to have.
Well, it's come to me over the years, of living on the streets, not having a home, or living in other people's houses and all that kind. And I've done all that kind of stuff. Like I said, I've been in this place for 21 years. But see, that's when I was younger. See, like I told you, I'm 70 years old. So I've seen a lot of things, I've done a lot of things, but I'm still here because of who I am and what I'm about. You see, what I'm about is, this is a more or less peace, love, joy, and happiness, and a happy time. You understand? Because, when you're able to do all that, you can go through life without having to deal with a whole lot of issues. You understand? Because all that issue stuff bring you down or hold you back. because you're not getting through to anybody or with anybody about solutions. You know, I mean, I've talked to people. I've talked to nurses and doctors and ministers about HIV, living in shelters, living in assisted living, all that kind of stuff. And I've done that over the years. And so, like the lady was saying, you know, you sound educated. I'm not necessarily educated. It's just that I have
A lot of experience.
kind of almost worldly. I mean, I hitchhiked to California when I was young. I was out there for a couple of months. I used to hitchhike back and forth to New York, Cape Pride, lots and lots of times. You know, since I've been to New York, I lived in New York, but I live in California. And so I've seen things, and I've met a whole lot of people. And I've met a lot of nice people over my years. And a lot of times there were men, not women, because women don't pick you up when you're hitchhiking, because, you know, that's a danger for them, you know, because they could potentially take your life. But see, back in the 70s, that wasn't a big issue.
Sure.
You know, so back in the 70s, you could just, you know, hitchhiking was just normal. You know, people hitchhike everywhere. They would hitchhike in the city. They would hitchhike from different states or whatever. And I did that one time or twice. In the 70s, 71, I went to California because people I used to live with, they said, if we ever get out to California, look us up. So I decided I'd go look them up. And I did. They lived in a place called Nob Hill in San Francisco. You ever heard of Bolton Hill here in Baltimore? Well, it's an area where more or less middle class, upper class people live. It's called Bolton Hill. Very nice, elegant community. I mean, probably the house is probably sky high. It's up on Park Avenue. It's from Howard Street up to North Avenue. But Park Avenue, all that whole area, is all these houses. This area is called Bolton Hill. Well, Nob Hill is like Bolton Hill. It's a very kind of affluent area in San Francisco, in a big up on a hill and this, that, and the other. And that's where these people live. And I stayed with them for a while. But I was having a good time, and they were taking me out to dinner, but I kind of got really crazy because thinking, you know, you're doing too much and I'm not doing anything to help you. I mean, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
You know, you're taking care of me and all that kind of stuff. So they called the bus station to send me back to Baltimore, right? So anyway, when I got to the bus station, they called my mother and said, would you like your son to come back home? Oh yeah, bring my baby back home, please bring my baby back home. So she was happy about that, so I got back home. But that was the longest ride I had to take on the bus. That was a mess. But anyway, so I did that, and because of all that, you know, you learn stuff,
yeah,
and you see stuff, and you realize that there are good people in the world.
So this motto that you have, like, you know, spread love and things like that, where did that come? Has that always been there, or
well,
where did that come from?
It has been, I guess, my mantra after going through so many things. I was stabbed 11 times one time when I was younger by some guys who just didn't like gay people. And luckily, it was just like pen knives that they were using,
yeah,
and all that kind of stuff, because all I did was poke holes in me and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, I mean, I didn't really want anything bad to happen to them. You understand? By me being very religious and stuff, you gotta let God handle those kind of things. You just let him know what the deal is or what the situation is, and that you need his help to help you deal with all that kind of stuff, to get over it and move on. Because I don't hold grudges and stuff, but that's not gonna do you any good. You hold grudges and you want to get back at people and retaliate and all that kind of ugliness. And I'm not about ugly. I mean, I'm not the greatest looking guy, but I'm not a bad looking or bad acting individual. You understand? I don't hold stuff like that to get back at people, because that's not making you move forward. You know what I'm saying? That stuff that's holding you down, you're carrying that with you. It's called baggage.
Yeah.
I don't carry a lot of, I mean, I carry baggage, but as far
yeah, no,
as
I got you.
All the stuff, I mean, baggage and grief and anger and hate and all that kind of stuff, I don't carry that with me. I don't like having that feeling, because it doesn't look good and it doesn't feel good. So I know what it is, but it's not something that I live with, that I carry along with me to move forward.
Gotcha. No, that's a good outlook to have.
Well, I try to be positive about a lot of things. Positive. Because when you do that, you look positive, you feel positive, and you appear to be positive. As well as if you walk the walk and talk the talk, then it becomes real and true. It's what I've always tried to do. I don't do no half-stepping. I don't do that yo and all that kind of business. That's not who I am. That's not what I'm about. There are people who are about that, but that's all them. But as far as you and me talking, if you ain't got nothing to say to me, you can keep it moving. Because I'm not on that kind of a time. You know what I'm saying? I'm a different kind of individual. I've had some kind of education, and I think I know how to speak fluently to make you understand what I'm talking about. So if you ain't got nothing to say, let me say they said that I'm not on that kind of, I can't hang with you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're just wasting my time or wasting your breath trying to make me understand what it is you're trying to say to me. So that's just basically it.
What do you feel, being alive for 70 years, what do you feel like the most important lesson you've learned in life is?
Be honest. I can say you can try your best to have forgiveness, because sometimes if it hurts too bad, it's kind of hard to forgive someone that hurt you to a point where it's too sharp of a pain to want to let go. But if you can, you try to let go and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll live longer and you won't have all that excess baggage dealing with you. Dealing with, because it's gone. You've let it go. Okay, I mean it's in the past. You may not really forget it, but it's not hanging on or over you as some kind of thing over you that's going to stay with you.
What's your biggest regret in life?
My biggest regret? I'll say that I did not finish a college education. I mean, I did go to college for 6 months, and also went again for 6 months for accounting. There used to be a school here called what was it called? Oberlin, I think it is. I think it's in Ohio, Oberlin, the original one. Mm-hmm. The main one is in Oberlin, Ohio. They had a I guess you call it a charter school here in Baltimore. It was down on Charles and Chase, up in that area, Mount Vernon, more or less. And they had like a charter place up in there where you go and register for different courses and all that kind of stuff. So I did that for a year. You ever heard of the Theater Project? Mm-hmm. You ever heard of it?
I believe so, yeah.
It's on the corner of Cathedral and Preston. It was at the time a very small theater company, a theater house that would have the traveling different theater groups come and perform. I remember a long time ago, this group of people came in, and one of them was a very, very young William Dafoe. I didn't realize, you know who he is, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I had the picture and everything. I lost the damn picture. I swear to God, I wish I could make money off the picture. But I lost the picture, but he was one of the people in this group that came to the Theater Project, where I was taking classes, and I was also taking dance classes downstairs in the basement by a young lady who was teaching the dance classes in the basement, all kinds of stuff. I can't think of the guy's name. He was a big, thick guy with a beard and a mustache, and a small woman was his wife. I think her name was Carol. I can't think of his name. He used to run this show, the Theater Project. But anyway, so yeah, that was the Theater Project. But anyway, and then I did 6 months down at the Baltimore Community College when it opened down on Market Street down there. I took a 6-month accounting course and I passed by the skin of my teeth. Oh my God, I never knew accounting was so hard. You got so much to do. You got debit and credit and all this other kind of stuff with credit. Oh, it was just too many things going on, and I barely made it, but I did pass. So anyway, but so I've got maybe a year and a half of college. But I don't mind. I have learned so much over the years through life about wisdom and caring and forgiveness and love and peace and joy and happiness and all that kind of stuff. And it brings so much knowledge with that when you're able to have that with you as you go along.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it just becomes an automatic situation because of who you are, what you're all about, all that kind of stuff sort of surrounds you or comes about in your way or in your light to make sure that this is where everything is happening, where it's going, that kind of thing, you know? I mean, it just happens because of, I remember, I'll say this, in my church, when church was over and you talking to people and then young children come to you and want you to pick them up, it's your spirit. They can feel your spirit that you are a nice person, you're a kind person, and they want you to give them some kind of love. And that happens to me all the time. You know, so which is a good thing for me. But I try to let these people know, no, you can't do that. You don't come to strangers just like that because, you know, it's not good for you. You know, you can't do that to everybody. But this time I'll do that. I'll pick you up just to show you some love. But you can't be doing that because you can't do that. You understand? Because some people do it and they take advantage of that. You know, it's not that they have the energy or the spirit. It's just that, well, they do have that kind of negative energy that they have negative issues when they want to do things like that, which is another thing. But no, not me. It's just who I am and the kind of people I attract. Even sometimes, even with animals, you know, they sense your spirit. You know, they see if you're a nice person or kind. Because my neighbor has these cats, and one of the cats will come and just want to rub around my leg and all this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just a neighbor. You know what I'm saying? So they feel your energy. So my energy must be of that kind of intense, I guess, power that it attracts those kind of people and things around me. So, see, I don't mind talking to people because I do have things to say because I love to talk. I listen to the news. I watch the news and I watch other worldly things on. I tell you, I'm gonna make a plug for MPT. Maryland Public Broadcasting is an awesome, awesome show. They have all kinds of things that you're able to see with free. You see stuff about health issues, brain issues, eye issues, body issues, mind issues, drug issues, all kinds of things on MPT that I said to myself, when I die, I'm going to give them some money. I'm going to give the St. Jude some money. I'm going to give what's the other one? The Love Shriner, I think, and then SPCA. Each one I'm getting about $25, so I don't know how much money, but something. But a little something, because those are very important shows and things that are very important. Yeah. You know, that St. Jude is incredible. They have saved so many kids' lives and they have lost so many kids, but they're constantly doing things to improve themselves, which what everybody should be doing. You know what I'm saying? But they're not. They're not trying to improve themselves here at City Hall. They're not trying to improve themselves with the Baltimore City Schools, with the police, or nothing. I mean, I don't see after 70 years where they're trying to improve anything. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they're stuck where they are, or they just like the one guy in the Republican, Isham McConnell. I think. Well, he had a brain issue. He had a brain problem. He fell and hit his head. So he keeps having these little mini strokes, you know, because of something that happened to him when he hit his head and fell. And there are times when he gets up there and he cannot say anything because at that time there's still something going on in his brain that's causing him not to be able to speak. It's been damaged, and he can't admit that. See, some people can't admit defeat, and he's one of them, because he's the head, that when you cut off the head, the body's not going to work. And then now, with the head cut off, they're all confused. Can't get the body, you just have to speak and all that kind of crazy mess. You know what I'm saying? They don't know which way to go, who to go. You know, it's so sad. It's so sad. But see, when you do wrong, things happen to you. It comes back on you, big time.
Miss Bobbie, I definitely appreciate you sharing your story.
It's no problem.